This episode is brought to you by Trailer Park Yard Games, where over 28 games are delivered directly to your party. We park the trailer, you party.
Tom's over there telling us 7 minutes he gets a
Tom said to check your posture.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Stand up straight and shoulders back. Have you guys seen that TikTok?
It's a TikTok dance, yeah?
Have you guys seen that TikTok where it's like, you don't have a double chin. All you have to do is put your shoulders back.
I like the one that says, like, you watching TV and you're laying in bed and it's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's totally me. Or if you accidentally turn your phone on and it's facing you, to take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is you. I see you on Marco, but you'll randomly Marco Polo me. I'm like, what is happening to Sarah right now?
There is no good angle on my phone. Or maybe it's just my face.
Wow. Well, we do have...
Let's have a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.
Hello and welcome to the PB and Jaisy podcast. My name is Jaisy George and I'm joined by...
My name is Sarah.
This is Sarah. Why did you pick up our robot?
I don't know. I'm just trying to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, and then we've got Bill.
My name's Bill Stedham. I'm the lucky bee sandwiched between three beautiful women today.
We always think
we got double women on this side.
Yes.
Wow. It's a double decker.
It's like a Big Mac sandwich almost, maybe?
Big Bill.
Oh,
A big Bill, a big baby sandwich.
I don't know where this is going. This is...
It all started with my robot. Sorry, I turned this off.
We are joined by the lovely Justina James. You may know her from some Amish.
Are you
some
Amish,
amazing?
I was thinking about it for a while, but I didn't.
You couldn't do the baking. That's what
I think it was the being a millennial. I think it was just like I needed some Netflix. I
like a car,
but
I get it.
Or a car. That's probably what it is. Sorry to all the Amish people. I know that you.
Yeah, my wife is at home going, "What is going on?" My wife's Amish.
She is.
Yes.
Not anymore.
Was. Yeah,
wow.
maybe was.
Yeah, see your covered wagon outside.
No.
That's how he comes
Her
to work.
Suburban.
Yeah. But yes,
sorry.
Justina is known for some amazing quotes such as, I hate you to your death. Justina is my cousin, so I have many, many embarrassing stories. And that one is when she was a kid, when she would get angry, she would just come up to you and just go, I hate you to your death, and storm off. And she would say that all the time. So of course I have to embarrass you, but she's grown into such an amazing, yet still embarrassing young woman.
Whoa. Yeah.
But Justina has got her master's in social work. She's got a minor in people studies. She's got another minor in something else.
Are these questions? Or are you?
I think they're questions.
Yes.
I got my bachelor's in religion, and a minor in social justice and poverty studies, and then my master's in social work, concentrating with children and family.
And she's working on her posture.
And I'm working on my posture.
Yes, Tom told her right before we started that her posture was terrible.
I do have a posture thing to wear at work when I'm sitting down doing paperwork. So I guess it's not working.
Well,
I think it looks great. I think Tom
speaking of paperwork, I heard in social work that paperwork takes up about 80% of your time. Is that true?
Yeah. In my position currently, it's probably 40%. But yes, it takes a while. Documentation. It's that's how we get. If you're in a nonprofit, that's how you get your grants. That's how you get your money and your funding. And then it also just keeps you in check if anybody were to audit you. So
when I hear the word social work, and Jay-Z's already kind of not corrected me, but educated me on, it's not just CPS, it's not, there's so much more to that. So educate us a little bit on what all is involved under the social work umbrella.
Oh my goodness. Okay. My social workers out there, love you, appreciate you. If I do you wrong, please let me know. I'm an LMSW, licensed master of social work, and then there's different levels. It's you can get different licensing. So there's LCSW, which is licensed clinical social worker. So they do a lot more therapy-based work. You see them alongside LPCs, which are licensed professional counselors. But social workers in general are, our title basically to the world is the helping profession. So it's really anything that you would need, either if it's social services, or if it's basic needs, or if it's trying to find a job, or trying to find just anything like that. That's what we do.
So
we help you find
resources of all
kinds, as well as we are trained in therapies. We are trained in working with children, with families, with just anybody. Me specifically, I work with children and families. But at UTA, where I went to where I went and got my master's.
Whoop,
Go
whoop.
Mavs. I don't know the thingy. I want to know the thingy, but I only know Baylor Bears, Sikkim Bears. Is this what it is?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Hang loose twice.
Yeah. Chill.
Everybody
Good vibes.
hang
only.
loose with both hands.
I wonder what Texas fans are doing this weekend after getting beat by OU last weekend.
Uh-oh.
Who knows?
And they've got to play Oklahoma State today.
Well, you're in your UT colors today.
Yeah.
But you're saying things that are not going to make sense by the time this comes out.
This is
Yeah,
true.
that's
So we are filming this in October,
Yes.
and this is going to come out somewhere around Turkey Day. So what can I say?
But with what you were
I love
saying,
it.
Justina, with what were we even talking about? Oh, you went to UTA.
We need more
Yeah, I went to
coffee.
UTA.
We went to UTA.
So UTA is actually a really great school for social work. It's hard, like social work is just hard in general. But the reason why I say that it's really great for social work is because they have really a lot of different concentrations. So they have CAP, which is about community and policy work. They have what is it called?
Do they have a class just on the acronyms that you've used?
Yeah, you know what? I just say it to sound fancy.
You,
honestly.
you sound so fancy right now.
No
I
doubt.
like whenever I work at a school right now, and they say all of these fancy acronyms, and I'm just
VHS, DVD.
Yeah.
MTV, yeah. But and so like I'm just learning. I'm just like, okay, what is this? What is that? What is that? What is Avid? What is ARD? What is all these things? And so it's really weird to hear my voice, by the way. I'm just letting you know
Well,
this.
I just want to say thank you for being on our PC
Yes.
today. That
Thank you
stands
for
for
listening.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do a lot of reading. So I read an article recently in Forbes that said social work is one of the most meaningful jobs that there is today to affect positive change on people's lives.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that like going back to what social work is, it's honestly, we're trained to do anything. I feel like we're trained to handle really hard situations. And the great thing about social work is they have these values. And some of those values are like treating people with dignity and respect. Like we honor the dignity and respect of a human. Like those types of things like really matter to us. And so like when I first stepped into social work school, those are the things that I learned, the values and the ethics that really guided who we are as individuals and as working professionals. And so I wish I had a list for you. Sorry, NASW, that's the National Association of Social Work.
You wish you had a list of all the acronyms.
Yeah.
I wish we were playing a drinking game.
Yes.
And every time
Every time she says
Well,
an acronym,
to my
so then every time we say PB, here we go.
Okay,
basically I dropped it. But yes, I think that social work is super meaningful. I think that like it's alongside mental health professionals. We are alongside mental health professionals as well as you can find it in really any field. Social workers can be HR professionals. They can be in businesses, in schools, in hospitals, in jails, and things like that. And even in CPS, if tying it back to what you were saying. But really, like social services is kind of its own thing, and social work can like be on it. But not all social service workers are social workers.
Gotcha. It's kind of like
A square
can
and
be
a-
a rectangle, but a
Right.
rectangle's not a
Kind
square.
of, but like,
But not.
but not. I was saying
You're
that-
right, but you're wrong.
Yeah, yes, you are right and
Now,
wrong.
I have a question because Jaisy said initially you were kind of looking at the medical field. So how did that change in your
What
how did
made
your
you
course
become
change?
a social worker?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So being, if you guys don't know, I'm Indian. My parents. Yeah. Just.
Do you know Jaisy?
Yes, Jaisy is actually basically she's my older sister, and so growing up with her is like, yeah. But like our whole, speaking of Jaisy, our whole family is like the medical profession. Like we can probably find somebody in
Yeah.
the, like
If something goes wrong, it's like, oh, you need a foot doctor? All right, you call Sonia.
Can
you
y'all
need
get dropped?
oh, you need a neurologist? All right, Jinty, can you
yeah, we
just
have a pharmacist too.
Yeah,
perfect.
We literally
Good
have
to
everybody. But that's what I grew up around. I grew up around engineers, doctors, and lawyers. And that's what I thought. Those were my options, you know, because you really are, there's a part of you that's a product of your environment, right?
Sure.
So I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor and a missionary. That's what I said ever since I was younger. I was like, Dad, I want to be a doctor and I want to be a missionary. And then like when it was like senior year of high school, I was like, okay, I want to be a reconstructive surgeon because I want to help people with cleft palates and I want them. And it was really for the psychological aspect of it. It was really like, I want to make sure that people who feel bad about themselves or these kinds of things, like I want to help them so that when they look in the mirror, they're like, oh man, I'm a person. Like, they don't feel like anything less than. And we were talking about like even like being what Doctors Without Borders and doing all these things. And that's what I felt like. That's what I wanted. And I was actually attending Richland Collegiate High School, RCHS. That's another acronym for you. Write it down, take a drink. And that, like, it's really cool because you do your last 2 years of high school and then your first 2 years of college together. So all of the elective classes that I was taking, so I got like my associates in science. But all of the electives that I were taking was like psychology, sociology, all of these things, like ethics and all of these things that actually ended up being spoiler alert, prerequisites for my major. So second semester, senior year of high school, my brother comes back home from Baylor and he's like, Justina, we're eating at Cheddar's in a booth. And what is it called? He was like, Justina, you remind me so much of all my social worker friends. And I was like, what is social work? Like, I've never heard that before. And then, but something just, like, it just was in my heart. And like, I went home and I researched it, fell in love. The fact that you can just help people, that's all, like, literally a profession just to help people. Like, I mean, I know, like, I know everybody does that. Like, I know doctors and stuff. Like, that's a thing that, I'm sorry, I keep on hitting the mic.
It's the Pentecostal in you.
We're used to it.
Everyone Jaisy invites on is Pentecostal and they all punch mics.
We're spirited.
Hey, okay, I grew up Pentecostal. So it's what happens, okay? One of the first things I learned was how to clap. But yes, so I actually, like, I went home and I called and I already applied to Baylor and got accepted, sick and bears, to their biology program. And I just called them, the social work office, and I was like, hey, this is how I remember it. It might be totally off, like, I'm like, hey, I would like, and I left a voicemail because they didn't pick up. And so like, hey, this is my name. This is like my whatever information. And I would like to change to social work. And then the next thing I remember, the next thing I remember from after calling that was going to orientation and seeing pre-social work. But how I got there and how I made that decision was like, I really, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe in like involving him in my life in every aspect. So I sat down and I prayed and I was like, God, I don't know what to do. I really liked reconstructive surgeons, what I've been saying for so long, but social work feels so different. And it feels like this is me. This is what I am in a profession.
Well, they both kind of sound like you were trying to do the same thing.
Yes, for sure.
Just in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is like, I don't think I'm that. I think my hand's a little shaky. Reconstructive surgeon.
It works out.
Yeah. So I prayed and I got the Bible verse from Luke chapter 12. And it's Jesus healing the man with a deformed hand. And I'm like, Jesus, you had a plethora of social justice verses that you could have given me, but here you are giving me one with deformity. And like this whole thing from like head to toe, I just felt this wave of like, it's social work. And like, I felt God saying like, if you knew the whole time, why didn't you just trust that I placed that in you, Right. And I was like, dang it. So then
God, you again.
always right. What's happening? But yeah, so then I called Baylor, and then the rest is kind of history. I still had to switch my major because I got a C in a class I was supposed to get a B in. But it worked out because I just switched my major and minor, and then I got my master's. So, it's a lot. Awesome. And a lot have happened in between, but that's life, and that's okay. You can take your time with school. If there's anything that you learned today, you can take your time. But
or just be like me and skip school
together. Or do that. That's okay.
Actually, I went to TCC, go Crickets. I don't know if we have a mascot.
Is it cricket?
I have no idea. It's probably like 4 of these.
I think it's
a couple gang
West side, East side.
No, I did a little bit of school, and then I got a real estate license, and I started making money, and I didn't have school debt.
Yeah,
so
there
I was
you
like,
go.
I'll do
That's
that.
Fine.
Yeah, why not?
So I have 0 education.
Do it.
That's okay.
Hey, that's not true. Your experience is your education.
I just need to ask Jaisy stuff, if I don't know.
Jaisy, what is 2 + 2? Okay.
Except spelling entrepreneur. I know not to ask her that.
Darn.
You failed on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I represented us wrong. I represented us very poorly in spelling. I'm sorry.
I said entrepreneur and I didn't know how to spell it. She's like, I'm Indian. I know. And I'm like, then spell it. And she bombed.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I bet my sister could. She was our 5th grade spelling champion.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah.
So talk about your current position that you have. You
Yes.
told me a little bit about it, but what are you doing right now?
Yeah, okay. So I actually got my master's in 2018, and I was looking for a school social work position for a really long time, me being like maybe 2 years or something like that. But I was just really unsure, and a lot of people were just like, hey, Justina, just take any job. And I was like, you know what, I want to, but also I want to work in schools, because that's the experience that I had, and that's the calling that I felt. And one of my really close friends, she let me know about a job opening in her district, with a nonprofit organization called Communities in Schools in the Dallas region. And I applied, got an interview, and got the job like pretty much like in a less than a week span. And it was like, by the grace of God, honestly. But yes, so I work for Communities in Schools in the Dallas region, and our mission is to help kids stay in school. But more than that, it's like, how do we get them to stay in school where they're happy and they're healthy and they want to, you know? So
I have a question on
yes.
that. You said the Dallas region. Does that mean just Dallas Independent School District, or are there other districts?
Region. So I actually work in Hunt County.
Okay.
So go Lions, Greenville. Yeah, you can. Whenever I talk, especially when I stay over there, my Southern accent gets real thick. So being away, we had fall break this week, so I think I reverted back to my Dallas accent. But yeah, so it's Hunt County. I think we just started working with Grand Prairie ISD. We're in Dallas ISD. We're in Garland ISD. We're like all around the Dallas region. But Communities in Schools itself is a nationwide nonprofit organization, and there's different sections and regions that like form themselves out of that. So there's one in North Texas, but I work for the Dallas region one, and it's just so cool how far we've come. Actually, before I started my master's, I started working with them, or as I started my master's, I started working with them, and I just fell in love with the company. And then when I had to leave so I can finish my internships, because you got to do internships when you're with your master's, and that's like a full-time job, but it's not paid. So,
sounds
yeah.
like real estate.
But yeah, so I fell in love with the nonprofit of that organization before, and then coming back to it, I've just seen how much growth it's happened. And it's like, yes, I'm a social worker, but my title is site coordinator. And so what they do is they partner with local school districts, and they place site coordinators there. And they're there to make sure that they help students with academics, attendance, behavior, mental health things, anything, social service, basic needs, anything that students and families need. Sorry again. Anything that students and families need to make sure that the students are able to come to school. So if that's like clothing or food, or if that's just being able to listen to them, hear and talk about their issues or what's going on, and processing their lives together I work with high schoolers. So we do a lot of career and college, like figuring out things like that. And it's so cool to see the school resources that we already have and be able to just be an added layer of support for all of that, because we already have college and career, we already have counselors, we already have that, but I just get to be somebody who is literally just like an added layer of support for the students, for the staff. If there's something that's a need that I can fill, I'm able to do that, because my job is to connect the community with the school and the school with the community. So like that is like, if there's resources in the community, or if there's businesses that you want to, like if a business wants to support maybe a field trip for a group of students that like are looking into engineering or something like that. So if an engineering company wanted to like bring students over, or if they wanted to mentor them, then we could bring some people over from those businesses, and they can mentor them once a month, or every 2 weeks or whatever, about what they do and just about life and stuff like that.
So that brings up a very interesting topic, and,
Yeah.
and obviously not Hunt County, because that's a little bit of ways from Mansfield, right? But Grand Prairie's not.
Yeah.
We're right on the border. So when you work with high school students, so we could, if we wanted to as a business,
Yeah.
and I believe I know the person who can make that decision, we could maybe partner with you and help mentor students.
Yeah. That's like the best thing to know that. So like since I can check. I wish I should have brought my phone in so I could check all of the ones that we that we serve, like all the districts that we serve, but I'm sure that there might be communities and schools here. It's all over the nation, and like Dallas region means like if you're anywhere close to Dallas, there's probably, we're either working on it or we're already there. So yes, if you wanted to mentor students, if you wanted to help out some families, if you wanted to donate, either if your office wanted to do a canned food drive or a food drive for Thanksgiving, maybe sponsoring families for Thanksgiving turkeys or things like that, you can go into your school districts and you can see, okay, like if you look up communities and schools in the Dallas region, you can look and see if your school ISD is in there. You can contact them. You can fill out a volunteer form, and you can let them know what you want to do. And honestly, it'd be such a big help because once the community is aware of what's happening, there's more interaction, there's more resources. And so, yeah.
Well, and I have a question for you. So it sounds like basically here I go. I'm getting Pentecostal.
Hallelujah.
Spirit is, contagious. You're already witnessing to me. So you pour yourself into other people all day long and you give and give. So how do you sharpen you? What do you do to keep the spirit that you have? And I know you said Jesus is a part of your life. What do you do to keep yourself up?
Honestly, it's Jesus. Like, I have learned that I can't even get myself that far. Like Jaisy said, I used to be a hateful child, you know?
It sounded like it.
I used to be just, like me as a human I'm not that great, you know? Like, and the fact that how much Jesus has changed my life, honestly, is like insane because I've learned so much to work out of the strength that he's given me, and to refill in like his word and worship and stuff like that. But I also love to draw. I'm actually an published children's book illustrator. I'm also I also just love graphic design. I work with my church as a creative head, and I work with my we have a worship school here in Dallas called Livingstone School of Worship, and I get to be a part of that as well. So
awesome.
And now I just recently got on a commission in my community in Garland, and I'm everywhere.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
But
how do you have time for anything?
Because the thing is like I'm in this moment in my life where I can take like 17 things because I don't have any other responsibilities, you know?
Well, you save so much time by having so many acronyms that you have so much extra time now.
Literally, it saves so much.
It really
does.
And
like my brain doesn't even remember what they mean. The acronyms
just
are.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love
It's
the
so
fact
easy.
that you're helping, but I want you to learn a word, okay? It's
Okay.
one that I wish I learned.
No.
At your age, yes, it's called no.
No, yes.
No, she said no, she didn't want to learn.
No,
yes.
No, I love the word no. And I only say yes to things that I know that I can give. And so
Awesome.
I've learned that because I wanted to please everybody and their mom. But I have no ability to do so, you know? And so now I'm even working with, okay, I've been given so much to be responsible for now. How can I be faithful in that? And like, I'm giving myself grace in this process. I recently just got this job. And it's been such a blessing working with these kids. And then after I got this job, the city council, a city council member was like, hey, I want you to be a part of this multicultural community commission at Garland. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is something that I've been wanting to do, like work with our community, be in this area of influence. And then it just kept on piling on. The thing is like, I like steadily like sought in prayer and like only said yes if I knew that I could do this or I knew that God could give me the strength to do
That's
it.
awesome.
So
We need to teach Bill how to say no to
Yes.
meetings.
No.
I love
meetings,
when
meetings
Bill
all the
loves
time.
to preach these things, and we always throw it back at him.
hey, that's what you should do, right? It's
Yes.
like hey, it's accountability. It's really what
Right.
what it is. Yeah. I love saying no, Bill. I really do.
That's fantastic.
But
I'm getting better at it.
We're glad you didn't say no to the podcast.
I
Yes.
really,
That's awesome.
I'm so
I'm so
honored
glad you
for
were
this.
here.
I don't. Oh.
No, don't worry about Tom. Tom's over there telling us 7 minutes he gets a
Tom
donut.
said to check your posture.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Stand up straight.
And shoulders back. Have you guys seen that TikTok?
TikTok dance, yeah?
Have you seen that TikTok where it's like, you don't have a double chin. All you have to do is put your shoulders back.
I like the one that says like you watching TV and you're laying in bed and it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's totally me. Or if you accidentally turn your phone on and it's facing you, like
Yeah.
to take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is you. I see you on you'll randomly Marco Polo me. I'm like, what is happening to Sarah
There
right
is
now?
no good angle
I
on
love
my
it.
phone. Or maybe it's just my face.
Wow. Well, we do have a little segment that we like to call Tales from the Lockbox.
Okay, so I know you said CPS is not all the areas of social work, but my tale is actually a friend of mine, and I won't call her by name because I don't know who could get in trouble for this. So, but a friend of mine, she worked as CPS, and she had to make like an unexpected house visit of some kind, and she knocks on the door, and the people, I guess, figured it out, and so she hears them running around, trying to straighten up or whatever. And they finally open the door. She comes in. She takes her quick little walk through the house. And she says, let's sit down. I have to ask you a couple of questions. She had to do some type of interview process. And they sit down. And now she's sitting there. She's taking her notes or whatever. And she notices this really interesting shaped vase. And in their cleaning up, they took this vase and put some fake flowers in it. Let's just say it didn't babong there. Yeah, that was my pun. It was a bong that they put flowers in. So I don't know how she filled out that report or who got in trouble for that. Or
whose bong is this?
Yeah.
Wait a second, that's a bong. That's not a vase.
I mean,
how is there a hole on the other side?
That's really creative. That's where you put the water and all the extra vitamins.
Yes.
For the fake flowers.
If anything, we've just come across a great needed business for vases that are shaped like bongs
Or
for added
double
nutrients.
courses.
Yes,
double purposes.
That was the best pun I could come up with.
It was.
Babong.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I did like
You can
it.
stay.
Perhaps you have a funny tale you would like to tell us about.
I wish I did.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
do
fair.
have, I'm sure Jaisy can come up with some childhood stories we can tell, just because there were so many. I used to literally live at her house when I was a kid. So, and I was also the youngest of the kids that were there. So I was always the
one that was picked on.
Yeah, and also the one that little ducktailing along whatever they were doing. Man, the things that we came up with for fun before.
So how many,
TikTok.
do y'all have a big family?
Oh yeah. So my dad has 6 brothers and 1 sister, but Justina and I are second cousins because
Yes.
our grandpas are brothers.
Yes.
And
we
so
share.
on that side, my dad's dads, his siblings and all that,
They
there
were
were
huge.
there were so
There's
you think 8 is a lot of kids. They had 12, 13.
I
They
think
needed
more
TV.
like
People
or
are
something.
really bored in Kerala, so all they just do is just have kids.
that was in the
So-
early 1900s. And
Yeah.
my grandfather
And-
was born in 1918, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
They don't
they
want to.
needed-
They don't want
they
to have to
needed
pay for
TV.
someone to clean their house. They don't want to have to pay. So they're just like, all right, we'll just have another kid.
We'll just have
him
another
do
kid.
this.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
That's what my parents
So
had
then,
me.
like
I was
14
the
kids
remote.
later, it's like, okay, oh, that's Shanama. She cooks, and then this other kid I had is for tending the crops.
I was the remote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we all were there.
Sarah, Emily, will you put it on channel 8? Oprah's about to be on.
So we didn't have
Also
Channel
remember-
8 when I grew up. We had 3 channels, but I was the
Uh-oh.
antenna.
Oh,
So-
I've been that.
Yeah,
I've been that.
we didn't have cable TV, so I had to hold the rabbit ears.
Did you have to walk uphill?
I did, backwards.
In the snow.
And barefoot in the snow to school in California.
Yes.
With that, we better
Y'all
level
didn't
up.
have TV.
Yes.
I love
We
it.
we better level up.
Level up.
And
Earl Nightingale wrote an amazing book that I would encourage anybody to read. He also has it on tape with himself reading it. It's kind of cool. It takes 3.5 hours to listen to it.
I don't think people do tapes anymore either, Bill.
Yeah, this one's on tape.
I've never even
You
owned a
can
tape
get it
player.
on Spotify.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Anyways, it's called Lead the Field. Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field. And it's got so many great life lessons in it, but the first one that he talks about is attitude. And it's the most essential contributor to all of our successes. See, a great attitude means you're going to have great success. And we've all seen it with people. When they have a great attitude, they have great success. When they have a mediocre attitude, that's kind of what they have. And then we've all seen the people with poor attitudes. And what happens to them? They're failures. They have poor results. They don't make it. So one of the things that in this book he talks about is the essential need to have a great attitude. And in the same chapter, in chapter 1, he talks about making sure that every single person that you encounter, you treat as if they're the most important person in the world. And I'm reminded of an old judgeism. And you may not know what a judgeism is. We were founded by Judge Fight. He founded Century 21 Judge Fight. And he taught us to make every single person we feel important. In fact, he taught us to pretend tattooed on their forehead is MMIF, which means
Another
make me
acronym.
Feel,
Yes.
make me
Perfect.
feel important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Justina, you are important.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And we thank
guys
you
are
so
important.
much for being
It was
here.
awesome.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
all of the acronyms.
Thank you.
Just to recap, we've learned CAP, we've learned
What is-
PB,
Oh,
we've learned
that was just
UTA,
UTA.
lots of these. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for teaching us about
Yeah.
what social work is.
For sure.
And thank you so much for all the work that you are doing and continue to do, not only with the schools that you're working with, but also with the communities that you're working with.
And thank you for sharing your faith.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
that
you
was
for
awesome.
allowing me to.
That was awesome.
I really appreciate
It'd be
that.
weird if we didn't.
Yeah. And we will share in the description box below a link to the communities and schools in the Dallas region, or communities and schools, so where how she was talking about where you can give back and learn ways to volunteer and stuff like that. You can get easily there. So thank you so much for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. PB and Jaisy, we're out.
We out.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.